in, everybody. We're here live at the University Co-op. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by, from my left, Marcus Myers, Rod Babers, and Jerry Hamilton. We'll let you decide who the odd one out is over here on the far right with Jerry Hamilton. Yeah. Yes. We all agree. It's Bobby Burton. I know, in all seriousness, thanks for joining us today. Going to have a little fun this afternoon. We're here at the University of Co-op for their happy hour. They've got some free drinks handed out. Even 40 Acres, by the way, one of our sponsors, giving away a couple of pieces of gear. You got to go over there and get in line, but they're doing a little thing. Should be a lot of fun. This episode of On Texas Football brought to you by our friends over at Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 grams of carbs, and 4% ABV. It's beer-flavored beer. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime. This is beer the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. Garage Beer, no gimmicks. All right, guys. Longhorns favored by 9. We've got a number of different things to talk about today. It's our prediction show, as always. Marcus, I'm going to start with you. What are the major things, a couple of major things you want to talk about prior to this game today or tomorrow?
It's tough, right? Like, we've talked a lot about just the unpredictable nature of what it is that we're going to see from the squad. My hope is that with a number of things that have kind of been buzzing out there that we've talked about throughout the week, that is something that brings them together, gives them an opportunity to galvanize and hopefully go out there and shut some people up. So just hoping that, as best we can, have a clean game. I understand, the issues we've had penalty-wise, that it probably won't be perfect, but as clean as it can be, I think would be ideal for all Longhorn fans, myself included.
Yeah, you chase perfection, but you never attain it, right? What do you think, Rod B?
Yeah, if you chase perfection, you should end up somewhere around excellence if you chase it well enough, right? That's what Texas is kind of hoping for. Defensively, I think it's a challenge for the defense this week. I mean, this is one of the best offenses in the country, one of the most explosive offenses in the country, averaging over 9 yards per play off of RPOs. Texas is a good RPO defense, but you lose Anthony Hill, who's one of your best second-level defenders, one of the best second-level defenders in the country, and you've had issues with pass coverage on the second and the third level. So this is a big test for that Texas defense, see if they've solved some of those problems that we've seen persist over the last 3 weeks. So with Bobby Petrino calling the shots, and he's one of the best play callers out there. And also looking at how explosive that offense is, it's top 5 in the country in 10-plus yard plays generated, 20-plus yard plays generated. This may be one of the toughest tests for the defense all season long, if not the toughest, honestly. I mean, considering where they are and where this offense has been all season.
My 2 things for this game before we get the predictions are, one, which secondary is going to play better this week.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I mean, look, both secondaries,
that's true.
They've been beaten up now. So which secondary is going to play better this week is going to be a big part of this game to me. And, I think Texas may actually effectively run the football against Arkansas. I just have a feeling they might effectively run the football against Arkansas. My main thing, Rod, is I want by Sunday night when we do a live stream for you to say Taylor Green's the best player on a bad team in America that lost to Texas.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear Rod say.
Agree. Honestly, at this point, I don't care how it looks.
Okay.
I don't care how it looks. I don't care if it's a shootout in the fourth quarter. Texas wins 42-41. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just care about getting the win at this point. I'm with Jerry. Just get the win. It doesn't matter how it looks. We're at the 11th game of the season, guys. All these hopes and aspirations we had about how it was supposed to look, how the offense was supposed to look, how efficient it was going to be, how the DBs were going to look. All that's done now. Just win, baby. We're at the Al Davis point of the season.
Rod, you're the one that always makes dating analogies. Yeah. Early in the seasons, does she look good? Does she you get along with her? All this other stuff. By the 10th day, it's like, hey, are we good? Are we good? It's like
no romance.
There's no romance. By that time, you're either working together or you're not. And I think that's part of it. We'll talk about our predictions, but Jerry, actually some news coming in off of a big recruiting weekend for the Longhorns this weekend. New name to add to the list, a linebacker out of Carlsbad, California, Rocky Cummings. What do we know about these guys? He's committed to Cal. Is that right?
He's committed to Justin Wilcox, who's one of the best defensive coordinators who is a head coach in the country. Great evaluator. They do a really good job. of evaluating defensive players and in general at Cal. They have to get guys they can develop that have high upside. This kid's got range. He's committed to Cal again. He's 6'4", about 210. He's got some range to him. He's got some length to him. He understands leverage. That's the one thing you can tell watching him play. He's a guy who understands leverage. He understands how to get low. He understands how to use his hands. The typical guy that Justin Wilcox recruits in the state of California that may not be as highly ranked as some other guys, that turns into be a really good player at Cal. I mean, that's what this kid is. And we've said we don't know where the linebacker was going to come from in this class. This is like a Charlie Gillette. It came on late at tight end after Braylon Hodge committed to Oregon at linebacker after he flipped from Michigan State. Texas brought in Karan Maycock. They didn't really make that final push on him. So they're bringing in Rocky Cummings this weekend. Going to take a look at him. I think the measurables, everything will be big in that meeting to whether they go all in here, kind of like they have done with other linebackers when they brought them on campus.
Marcus, you're a former linebacker. What are you seeing here?
And he looks really athletic. You know, he's out there making some plays in space. I think he even showed him on the other side of the ball. So, another, big rangy athlete that, you can put in the system, be able to contribute early, hopefully on special teams, and then find a way to earn an actual position. So I think it's cool that they're leaving no stone unturned as they're trying to kind of round out the rest of this class.
Yeah, I think they're going to have in some big name players too. To Jerry's point, recruiting is changing. You have these ultra 5-star highly ranked guys, and you have some other guys that you have to. I don't know if it's pay less because of NIL.
It's kind of like a draft.
Yeah,
First rounders, second rounders,
no
you
doubt.
got mid-round picks, and then you
wrong.
got late-round picks. That's kind of what it's feeling like, Bobby. I agree with you. That's what it feels like to me looking at recruiting classes.
I was talking to a college assistant coach, not in the SEC, earlier this week, and he mentioned how player development is going to be absolutely paramount in college football at the high school recruiting level, because with rev share, he doesn't think you're going to be able to stack these high school classes like you once could, and that you're going to have to take maybe more of those developmental guys that may not be ranked as high, that might have a lower NIL price tag on them, and develop them. This was a college assistant who's pretty good in recruiting, said player development is never going to be more important than it has been in the next few years than it has been, because of that factor. With rev share, these guys are going to spread out more. Even the power programs may not be able to load up like they have in the past all the way up and down a recruiting class. So you're going to have to get some developmental guys and be really good at your development.
Fascinating.
Hey, Jerry, tell us a little bit more about the other guys that are coming in for official visits. Some start tomorrow, I believe. Not all today.
If Richard Anderson was sitting at this table, all of us would not be sitting at this table because there's only one camera. He's 6'4", 340. Out of Edna Carr. They play tonight, teammate of Hayward Howard. And he will, and he'll be coming in for an official visit tomorrow with Hayward Howard, his teammate. That'll be an unofficial there. Bryson Martinez, the offensive tackle out of East Ascension, 6'6", 307. Looks like he weighs 285. Tremendous athlete, tremendous upside. One of those former basketball guys that's come into football, has some real aggression to him. I was at a practice last week, and he was aggressive when you maybe shouldn't be in a practice, but I liked it. I was all for it. His coaches may have like, hey, now. I was like, yes, go get it. But very aggressive guy. Caden Scher, Jet Walker out of Georgetown High. They play tonight. They'll either be in late tonight or early tomorrow. Josiah Vilmel already on campus from Richmond, Fort Bend Travis, the defensive back, who rolls out of bed and runs 4.4. So he's a Rod Babers type, rolls out of bed, runs 4.4. He was hurt all of his junior year. Oklahoma State took him on a flyer off his track times, which are high 10.5, low 10.6. He's played really well as a senior. Of course, Pearland knocked him out last week. Then Charlie Gillette will be here for his official visit. An unofficial visitor, definitely worth noting, Richard Wesley is going to be on campus, the 5-star edge out of Sierra Canyon, who's having a really good senior season despite not playing a lot of snaps because they're so dominant. So there will be some 27s here as well. But the 26 official visitor list has grown by one. We kind of mentioned we think another one or two guys could come in this weekend. We'll see who else does.
Jerry, before we let folks go, because we're going to need to talk about it a little bit. What are your thoughts on those two commitments to LSU, Martinez as well as Richard Anderson? Do you think there's a real shot here for Texas, or is it almost 100% dependent on what happens with LSU coaching situation.
I think that's it. When does LSU make their hire, and who is it? With signing days coming up on the 4th, so it's not that far away. These kids are both early high school graduates, so they want to know where they're going. They want to know what that situation is at LSU. So the one thing I'll say is Texas is the only school that's got them on campus. That's telling. Obviously, Kenny Baker's never backed off Richard Anderson, even after he committed to LSU. Bryson Martinez, Texas offered way back in 2024, but he was always going to go to LSU. The question is the timing of the hire. And let's say the timing of the hire goes past signing day. Can LSU get those kids to hold off signing a letter of intent and maybe just go to college with scholarship papers? There's going to be a lot at play, but both those guys plan on still enrolling early as of yesterday.
And if they enroll early, and it's hard for me to believe they're going to enroll early and not know who their coach is.
The thing is, can LSU get them to not sign a letter of intent with another school in December?
I've got to ask y'all this. I mean, this is y'all. You two were players. Were y'all so in love with the University of Texas that y'all wouldn't have gone to Texas if you didn't know the coaching staff? I mean, that seems
No.
That's the hard thing.
No way.
Yeah.
Because even before NIL, the relationship with your coach is everything. It's everything.
Especially for us, and Rod's talked about this before, but Coach Brown's approach was also making sure he built a relationship with your family. Like, if nobody was there to talk to my pops and my mom and kind of be like, hey, I'm gonna take care of your kid, like I don't see them signing off, and I don't see me being comfortable just blindly going somewhere. I mean, again, for someone like myself, I grew up a Texas Tech fan because my dad played football there. So there's no way I could have chosen a school without knowing who the coach was going to be.
It's just crazy, right? And that's what
my parents wouldn't let me do it, honestly. I think my dad would be like, "Nah, son, you ain't doing that. You need to at least have the full picture before you make a decision."
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're fighting. Because Frank Wilson, their interim head coach, who's also their key recruiter, long term, is trying to sell this vision. And frankly, if Lane Kiffin is the vision, they're not going to get Lane Kiffin before school starts if he keeps winning in the college football playoff. If he gets there, I mean, he's still got to beat Mississippi State and do some work. But I don't think they're going to hire Lane Kiffin and he still be the coach at Ole Miss. And I don't think Lane Kiffin is going to give up an opportunity to win a national championship anywhere. Nor should he, in my opinion. But we'll see how it works. The other guys coming in, you mentioned the two from Georgetown, Jerry, Caden Scher, big offensive lineman, Jet Walker, a running back. Both those guys, one committed to Stanford, one committed to Minnesota at this point. They have a high school game tonight, so they're actually not on campus yet. Then Josiah Villamil, who you mentioned, the big time speed guy at defensive back that has long levers. He's one of those. I'm not saying he's Cade Phillips by any stretch, but he's got the long levers as well as the speed.
By the way, if Texas flips Jet Walker, then producer Matt has to make a unrowing the boat video we can use for signing day. Like what, somebody reversing the row of the boat.
That is the PJ. That is the PJ Fleck. A hook of that is the PJ Fleck comment. Our friend Jerry has little
maybe Marcus
snarky.
It's Friday.
Maybe Marcus Rodnow getting like a canoe and do a backwards row for signing day and shoot a video of it.
All right, we've got the. I want to say this. I'm sorry, but Richard Anderson won't be here till tomorrow as well. Yeah. All right. That'll close up the recruiting segment real quick. All right. Before we get to our predictions, Rod Babers, would you please tell us about these fine threads you and I are wearing right now from 40 Acres?
That's right. This episode of On Texas Football brought to you by our good friends at 40 Acres Apparel and the University of Texas Co-op, where we are today. And the University of Texas Co-op is a nonprofit and has been serving the Longhorn community since 1896. Every penny of profit directly benefits course material scholarships. In fact, over 9,000 students will receive course material scholarships this academic year. 40 Acres Apparel was born inside DKR, designed and built exclusively for the University of Texas and Longhorn Nation. go down to University of Texas Co-op, where we are right now, or go to the University of Texas Co-op.com and get geared up with 40 Acres apparel. Great designs, fashionable, high quality, SPF 50. I love it. I've been wearing it for a long time. I'm wearing it right now. We talk about the collar integrity all the time. Feels great, and it looks even better. 40 Acres, also a proud sponsor of the course material scholarships for UT students.
Look good,
Look good?
feel good, commentate good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dion. I stole your line.
I left mine at home today, or I had it in the truck, but I've been down here all day because my niece was doing a tour of campus.
Hey,
I'm in my same gear.
I-
Yeah, she and her one of her teammates, they came down for the weekend for the game, and then went and did a tour with them at 11 a.m. So I've been out here all day.
I will say this, Mark. He may not have brought his shirt, but Marcus did plenty of damage to the credit card
Yeah.
beforehand. It was
Poor
definitely
nieces.
it was definitely in the mid three figures. It was not the mid two figures. Yeah,
it
he
wasn't
donated a scholarship.
it
Yeah,
wasn't a cheap visit. For the
There we go.
I was trying to take care of them.
there we go. All right, let's get to the predictions. Y'all ready for this? Let's do it, Matt. Bring them up if you will. All right, look, these scores all over the place a little bit, but Marcus and I were looking this pregame. There are a couple that stand out to us. Tony Hills and Will Matthews. Look how many points, and maybe even Coach Irwin don't have Arkansas scoring as many points.
Yeah.
They're in that two score.
The defense is going to turn it around.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Potentially have to be him.
But I will say this. Is the Texas defense better or worse than the LSU defense that just only allowed 22 to Arkansas last week? I've got 31-28. Rod, you've got 36-31. Jerry, 38-30. All favoring Texas. Marcus, you're at 37-28.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Texas defense? Are y'all sold on it? Because some people are here. What's the thought process?
If they can just limit the busted coverages and the lapses in leverage, if you get beat, you get beat, right? Guy makes a great play, as Mac Brown would always say. He's on scholarship too. Those kind of plays, you can live with those. What you can't live with are the busted coverages and the easy plays, the easy explosive plays and big plays Texas giving up on the back end. So they limit those. I can see that potentially being the case, but nobody's better in the country, arguably, at generating those explosive plays all season long against everybody than Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas's biggest issue is turnovers, and that's, to me, it's going to be the big turning point in the game. You gotta force them to turn the ball over. I mean, they're one of the worst in the country in terms of turnovers lost. You go look at all their big games, they lost a turnover margin usually in those games. Most of them. I think Mississippi State's one of the only games where they didn't lose the turnover margin, but most of them they get obliterated in the turnover margin. Texas got to win that.
Only one person has Texas scoring in the 20s too. That's Will Matthews as well.
Yeah.
Everybody else has Texas at least in the 30s. Do we expect an offensive explosion, Marcus?
I don't know if it's so much an offensive explosion. I know Rod's talked a lot about this. It's more just like Arkansas's defense is so bad. And I know for all the headaches that, ours has had, and the wringing of hands and banging your head against the wall that, you would have against our defense. Theirs is it's one of the worst in the country. And so I think it's almost like you have to try not to score. And so that's kind of some of where my prediction come from. To your point of LSU's defense, Bobby, and how they were able to hold them, I kind of keep an eye on them a good bit. Rod and I's teammate, Bo Baker, his brother, Blake Baker, is their defensive coordinator. So I always joke with Bo that I'm an honorary LSU fan when, his brother's coaching and not against us. But their secondary makes a lot better plays on the ball. They have a DB. Yeah, they have a DB that's going to be probably a top 15 pick, right? So to that end of things, they're able to, control what they want to do a little bit better than our secondary has been able to show to this point. So, I have Arkansas lucking into some explosive plays themselves. I certainly hope that the defense turns the corner. I can't, reasonably just say I expect that to happen based on what I've seen to this point. But that's kind of how I got to where I made my prediction.
Point though, Notre Dame is the only team that really blew them out of the water, and Notre Dame, good secondary. Yeah. NFL
really
guys.
good secondary.
By the way, this could be a really long football game tomorrow.
I agree with that.
A lot of incompletions, a lot of points scored, and a lot of penalties on both sides.
That's true.
I mean, Arkansas pulled off 18 for 195 in a home game this year. So there could be a lot of long football game tomorrow if all these things kind of fall into place.
Was that that was the Mississippi State game, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, my question to you, Jerry, was a little bit different about these predictions and what you're thinking as of right now. And that is, as we look at this game, how does it set up overall this season? Rod just made the mention. Oh, there he is. Say hook, man. There you go, buddy. Good job. What I was going to say is, Rod made the mention very early in this podcast that we want to see Texas win. Period. Don't care how. But as you're thinking about this game and A&M's in the offing, it's a week away, right? Like kickoff's basically a week from today. Yeah. How do you see this game covering in with that game, and what do you need to see now so that you have some level of confidence, if not at least saying, we got a shot?
Well, what's interesting is you get your last two games of the regular season. Neither team is really good against stopping the run. So I think it's even LSU ran for 155 on Arkansas last year, and they really struggled running the football.
That's true.
And Arkansas gave up over 200 rushing 5 games in a row, starting with Memphis, and I think Memphis had 290, and A&M had 307. I think it's important for Texas to have some success running the football this week to set up the A&M game, because that is the weakness of the A&M team, is stopping the run on defense. That really is their weakness, and so I think it's very important for Texas to establish a quality run game. And I'm not talking 200 yards, but if you can get 145, 155 like LSU did. I know you don't have Caden Durham for a big chunk play, but if you can establish the run this week leading in the A&M game, I think that's very important. While, of course, winning the football doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you lose it. And then I think the other thing is making explosives in the pass game. I think you got to marry those two things together going into the A&M game with the Texas offense. I think that's very important because I do think Texas can score on Texas A&M next week. But I think they need to do it this week, build that confidence, and going into the A&M game.
All right, let me ask the two defensive players here a question. Ball control. Does that matter in a game like this? Like, you're playing a quarterback that can throw it around the yard, can hit you for big plays, right? Yeah. Would you rather see an offense that has a lot of ball control and moves the ball consistently, or are you just taking points whenever you can get them?
I mean, so ideally, yes, right? But Rod has all the stats for you. Arkansas's defense just doesn't allow, 10 yards, 20 yards, 30-yard plays. Like, they're at the bottom of the SEC, or, the inverse of that, right? They allow the most. And so it's teams score at will on them. And it's harder to put together a methodical drive if you're playing a team that literally gives up any and everything you want. So
they are 132nd in 10-plus yard plays allowed, 130th in 20-plus yard plays allowed. They allow 3.4 points per drive versus Power 4 teams. That's the worst in the country. So, sorry, can you read that?
No.
Jerry trying to learn.
No. I just for Texas fans that realizes how much homework Rod does. There's his homework. In high school at Lamar, the thing was empty, but now this thing is full, page after page after page.
He's actually not wrong with it. But people always say, "Were you good at math?" I was like, "I was terrible at math in school." I was like, "I don't know why football stats I can get those."
That's a lot of homework.
I cannot do that. But to the point that Marcus is making, they really are one. You can make the argument they are the worst Power 4 defense in the country, and so you can go, Jerry. And I think you got to feel it out. Yep. I think it's a gut game for Sark. If you're running the football really well and you decide, you know what, we need confidence in the running game. We need to establish a running game. We need to force, thank you, brother. We need to force A&M to have to respect that, and that's their weakness, and we got to work on it. Yep. You can do that. But, if your defense is giving up plays, you're not stopping them at all, and you feel like, man, this might be a shootout, actually, you might need to change up and take your points where you can get them. So I feel like a gut game for Sark. What are you feeling? Because honestly, we don't know how this team is going to come out. They coming out motivated? Like, there's a lot going on. Anthony Hill's might not play. There's a lot with the Sark stuff behind the scenes and the discussion about, him and whether he's the Desmond Howard report and the speculation behind the scenes. Like, what's going to be the mindset of this team? So I think Sark got to feel this thing out, period.
I really hope, guys, that we find a team that has kind of come together a little bit in the face of adversity. That's been my piece on this week. I mean, not just Sark and his media discussion about his own future with the Longhorns, but don't forget, Kirby Smart called those players out. Did they not? I mean, so combine those two things together, there should be some guys really upset about where they're at. And, you know, I don't know about y'all, but it's one thing to have my coach be it's another thing for an opposing coach to call me soft.
Yes, very much. Yes.
Yeah. That's what they would talk about. For everything that they've struggled with, for the most part, they've not put together like two back-to-back stinkers, right? Like they found a way to get it done after, you know, not getting it done in a prior game. So
Florida to OU.
Right. So I think, you know, this is the perfect opportunity for them to go out and play with some fire about them, play with that pride, play with, you know, that want to that says, man, we're better than what we've shown. And I took that, you know, the Michael Jordan 30 for 30, I took that personally. Like every one of them needs to embody that, because you're right. People have been taking pot shots at them all week, and to a degree, understandably so. So, you know, you this is one of those few Saturdays. You only get 2 left in DKR for the whole year. With this, you know, configuration of a team, they got to find a way to go out there and answer the bell.
Almost all that focus got transferred to Sark on Monday instead of staying on the team from the Kirby Smart conversations on Sunday. And I long story short, I'm just hoping we find a team that is resolved to prove some people wrong. And it doesn't have, you know, I'm not saying they have to Marcus's point, they don't have to be perfect. We just want better. And we want it to be consistently better. And hopefully we see a little bit of that. Rod, your thoughts on just the team potentially and where you think they are mentally right now?
Yeah, that's the question. You know, I think it's about pride, right? This is one of those games that's about pride. You're right. They've been called out multiple times. I think their own fans have probably called them out, and rightfully so, by the way. I'm sure the coaches have behind the scenes in the locker room. Matter of fact, they should be calling each other out. Should be some peer accountability here, especially because you got some of your leaders who are making critical mistakes, right, in crucial moments of the games. And we saw that versus Georgia. So I'm with you. I think this is going to be a great bounce back game for them. I know they're not going to be perfect. I'm just hoping we don't see like mental errors and busts on defense. Guys getting beat. I'm fine with that. Like guys get beat. It's okay. I'd like to see them make more plays on the football. So I just want to see them come out and play with some pride, because I'm telling you right now, Bobby Petrino watching that film. And man, the rollout. Texas has been killed on rollouts, guys. How many touchdowns did Georgia throw on rollouts? 3 touchdowns on rollouts alone?
Yeah.
Remember Diego Pavia, when he did on rollouts? You don't think Taylor Green's about to start moving that pocket?
He's got to move the pocket because Colin Simmons is going to destroy their left tackle.
Exactly. So they're going to move the pocket a lot. If Texas is not ready to stop that, they're going to have issues. If Texas is not ready for the crossing routes, rollouts, and the RPOs, they're going to have issues. I think Texas know what's coming, because it's the same thing that's been coming for the last 2-3 weeks. Tight ends. I don't know who they tight end is. I haven't even paid attention. He's going to have a big game based on the last 3 weeks. I don't even know who the guy is. Guy's going to have a big game. Tight end been killing Texas lately. Big games.
I can confirm no tight end in a note. No tight end in a note. Just says big game. Just no name. Just says big game.
No disrespect meant Arkansas tight end. I'll look you up right now.
Something you mentioned though, Rod, that Coach Brown, VY, and A. Ross were here earlier, and they were doing a panel in the co-op. And they were telling a story about the national championship game against USC. And VY was telling this portion of the story where as soon as, you know, they made the play to get the stop on 4th down, that A. Ross and Ced Griffin and those guys ran up to VY and was like, all right, what are you going to do with it? Well, the other part of that story that he told was the reason they did that, to your point on peer accountability, Rod, the reason they did that is before that play, VY went up to them in the huddle and said, go get me the ball back. So, you know, that's a level of accountability that you have to have amongst yourselves to say, hey, y'all go do your job and we'll do ours, and we're going to walk out of this thing with a win. So That's something that, these guys got to find within themselves. Yeah, I did too. When you said I did too. Yeah.
Man, that's it. That's what Mac Brown's the secret sauce to him becoming a Hall of Fame coach. He figured out player-led teams are way better teams. I'm trying to do way too much. I gotta make sure I bring in the right guys. What did Nick Saban say? My job is to get the right guys on the bus and the wrong guys off the bus.
Yeah.
All right, now after that, they'll take care of itself, guys, because the leaders are sitting next to each other. They're setting the tone. They're holding other guys accountable, and that's what Mac had in his best years. It was a player-led team, and we weren't enough. We were good enough. We were 11 win teams, so we were a good player-led team, but we weren't a great player-led team. That's a great player-led team.
Y'all laid the foundation. Like that's how we figured it out, right? We would see you jump in the front of line to go guard Roy, right? And we'd get into it during practice. We'd scrap because we were fighting amongst one another to prove ourselves to each other, right? It wasn't, I've said it before, it wasn't really so much about letting coaches down. It was like, I didn't want my boy to make me look bad.
Can you have that in the NIL era, truly?
It's probably much harder than it was for us, right? It was much harder for us than it was for us, but there's got to be elements of that still, man. Like, because you're still out there. Yeah, there's cultures that breed it. What I think, where I find that it happens the most frequently is, first and foremost, that tone is typically set by the head man, but then also there's a handful of older guys, or at least guys that have seen it enough, that have enough consistent success. I think you've talked about this, Rod, to where it's okay for me to call you out because I'm always doing what I'm supposed to do. I may not win every rep, but I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to do it. I'm doing it the right way. I'm on time for meetings, if not early. I'm studying right. I'm doing all the right things. And so it gives me the authority to be able to do that. And I think in this NIL era, that aspect of some players is a little more challenging because you got so many coming in and out, that money's talking. So I think that would certainly be a difference between, when we played 20 years ago and now.
Everybody should do Bloody Tuesdays in practice, and that should be part of your recruiting video. You bring a kid on campus, you show them this, and he says, is this something that interests you? And if they hesitate, move on to the next guy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean,
Dogs. I heard Coach Shippy talking about Ethan dogs.
yeah, you do need
Still this day. They paid well, but you need a dog. You need dogs.
Yeah.
And I still believe, even in the age of NIL, you need people that want to be good as a team, not just good as a player.
Yes.
You need it's the you always say this, it's the quarterback that makes the team better, right? It's the point guard or a player on basketball that's the glue guy. Those guys matter. And I think that they matter whether it's the NIL era or whatever era, because it's ultimately football. But those are not individual sports. You're not playing tennis. These are team sports that require cooperation and teamwork and understanding what everybody's supposed to be doing, all of that stuff. And so I agree with Jerry's point about NIL changing the complexion of it, but not necessarily what works of it, the mechanics of it.
Yeah, no, I heard a great quote. I think it was it might have been Matt Ryan who said it back in the day. But he said, you don't use people to elevate your position, you use your position to elevate people.
Oh, nice.
And you need to hire people with that mindset. Like, no. Whatever I got, I need to elevate others, because that's all a team is.
Yeah.
It's me elevating you, you elevating me, and we helping each other get better. And once you get more guys that mindset, that's the people who are here for Texas, not at Texas, that old rant that I had. And I think that's helps you build that culture, because you can't do it on your own, not in the NIL.
Yeah.
You need soldiers to help you carry out the mission.
Hey, Jerry, I'm going to ask you to do our reads here in a second. We're going to get to y'all's questions as well. Here we got plenty of time to take your questions. Y'all put up quite a few. We'll get to those as well. But Jerry Hamilton, will you do me a favor, please, and start with our friends over at Vaughn Lane?
Yes, fall brings busy weekends, crisp weather, and plenty of travel plans. From business trips and family visits to those can't-miss football games in Austin. And if you're a Longhorn fan headed to Austin, for the big games to close out the season, there's no better way to get there than Vaughn Lane. Forget the airport crowds and that I-35 traffic, I-45 traffic, I-10 traffic. With Vaughn Lane, you board in minutes at a private hotel terminal located just minutes from your final destination. Then relax in one of the 22 oversized first-class seats with Wi-Fi, power outlets, personal service that makes the miles fly by. Every Vaughn Lane trip includes complimentary snacks, beverages, and hot towel service with a complimentary meal available on some select routes. Whether you're traveling for a football weekend, Thanksgiving, or Christmas, Vaughn Lane turns your travel time into downtime. Seats are filling up fast. They now serve Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. Book at vaughnlane.com and use code OTF25 to save $20 on your first ride. What is Vaughn Lane? That's a private jet on wheels.
I'm using one tomorrow, or no, Sunday. Going down to Houston to see my parents. What about Culligan's, Jerry?
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't, if you ever looked into your bottle of water and seen all those particles and you're like, am I really drinking this crap and putting it in my body? Well, you need to call Culligan. You know, when it comes to water your family drinks and uses every day, you don't want to cut corners. That's why we're 90 years. People have trusted Culligan. And here in Austin, Culligan Ultra Pure has been serving the community for more than 60 years. Culligan Ultra provides high-quality residential water treatment at an affordable price, including reverse osmosis systems, water softeners, and UV purification lights. Whether your water comes from a well or municipal source, Culligan has the perfect treatment solution for your home. And right now you can schedule a free water test and save up to $600 when you mention On Texas Football. Culligan Ultra Pure proudly serves Austin, Corpus Christi, Victoria, Brownwood, Pampa, and Plainview. The Harvesters, the Pampa Harvesters. Yeah. So don't wait. Call Culligan Ultra Pure today at 512-339-2378. Ask for Michael. He's an On Texas Football community member. He will set you up with that best water you can have, drink, and trust. 512-339-2378. Better water starts with Culligan. Worse water starts without Culligan.
All right, hey Jerry. A lot of people don't realize this, but high school playoffs tonight in the great state of Texas. Rockwall Heath. This from Two Broke to Pay Attention. Rockwall Heath tonight against they're playing up in the DFW area. What are some big games going on, Jerry? Have you checked some of that?
Yeah, so the Houston area has a couple of really big games. North Shore, I can't remember the last time they lost in the second round of the playoffs. They're playing 11-0 Ridge Point. For those that don't know about Ridge Point is where all the pro athletes kids live in Siena. You know, go to Ridge Point. They have 5 D1 offensive linemen, some really good young talent. North Shore is going to be really tested in that game tonight. Rockwall Heath's playing Duncanville, so that's a heck of a game over in DFW. But there's some big games across the state. Look, the one that is interesting to me is Jalen Lott. Speaking of recruiting, Texas still wants Jalen Lott badly. They're playing 11-0 Springtown. Is Springtown the Porcupine? Somebody in the chat tell me. I think I'm trying to go Craig Way on this, and I think I'm failing. And they may be the Porcupines. But Springtown plays Jalen Lott tonight. Will they knock Panther Creek out? Springtown is a tough, rugged team. Kids that are probably overachievers on a football field. Frisco Panther Creek has 2 of the top playmakers in the state, Jalen Lott and Donovan Webb, going to Texas Tech. 2 absolute studs on that team. They don't have a big offensive line. Springtown's going to get after them physically. There's some great games all along the state. Scott Surratt, Carthage, plays Sanger. Sanger's put up a lot of points. Carthage is probably a 25-point favorite. We'll be talking about Carthage, I'm sure, the next few weeks as Scott Surratt goes for yet another state championship.
Oh, there's my daughter. I like your laptop sticker, Dad. It is I come every week to the co-op here, and they give us away stickers, and this one is I gave you one for your daughter. Yeah, the Arkansas stinks or something like that. Yeah, that's it. I should see my daughter on Sunday when I'm down in Houston. She's headed down there. Excited for that. All right, a couple other things going on. Wanted to get this question in, and based on everything we've been talking about, guys, and something I brought up earlier in the week, MJF 206. If the Horns don't play well this week and folks say they were distracted, were you part of that? And I think it's a collective you, not just us here at OTF, but all of Longhorn Nation. Were we? They meant Mark. Were we? Sark spent too much time putting out fires. UT fans helped fan those fires. Let's not help our enemies. I said something to that effect. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. I think there's an element of that, but I want to be clear. I think that there can be a healthy amount of that too. It's when it goes overboard that it can be distracted. I think it went overboard. That's my point.
The only part I would add to that, Bobby, these are one of those things where, like, you know, I mentioned, I think on Monday, that like people kind of enjoy chaos. But what I've also found in life is like you typically have a loud minority, right? So the ones that are the most polarizing, that are the most negative, like that's the smaller portion of the fan base.
They
right?
use the megaphone.
Yeah, and they're the ones that tend to project the loudest, and then they're also the ones that when things are going well, you don't hear as much from them. So I only say that to say, like, I don't necessarily view the entirety of our fan base in any one particular manner. I think we have the support, you know, that's necessary, and obviously it's ideal for everybody just to stay behind the guys as much as possible. That being said, there's always a portion of every fan base that can be loud and negative, right? And so I don't think that's something that's overly unique to us, but that is something that, you know, you heard, you know, throughout this week and when times have been tough. So I just encourage everybody that has been supporting the guys, they're staying behind them, to continue to do that because they need them. We got the band outside, so it's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's why you had to pull it closer. But yeah, just keep supporting the fellas, and as best you can, try not to be a part of that negativity.
Literally, when Marcus says the band is outside, the Longhorn band is exactly outside of us. All right, hey, a couple other questions we're gonna get to. MJF, long story short, I think that's a great question, though.
I also think it's a family, and I don't know about y'all. When I get with my family, oh man, all kind of crazy discussions happen. There's a couple of arguments that happen. Yeah, then exactly. I can say whatever I want about my mama. You better not say nothing about my mama. All right, it's a family thing. So I think within the family, we have a lot of different discussions about the Longhorn program, but it's all about love. We're passionate about this brand and passionate about the Longhorn. So usually they think they're doing what's right for the program, or it's all, I think, with good intentions. They're not trying to be toxic or hurt the program. They're just passionate about it. Who the hell else you gonna talk to? Who understands it other than other Longhorn fans?
You've got a different. I've got to say this. You've got a different family than me because I can't say nothing about my mama. And she don't allow that now. You got a different family. Pablo Picasso 721. Is Anthony Hill opting to prep for the NFL draft the last two games? If so, wouldn't he have had surgery? He is not. So he is listed as questionable. If he had had surgery, they would have already listed him as out. To that point, I do think he's trying to get ready, if not for today or for tomorrow, excuse me, but for next week against A&M. We will get the next availability report at 7:00 tonight, and it will be the final one of the week before game day. So he is not already opting out. I know that was the fear that some immediately had, but it did not occur. This one from Mike Thompson, 8398. Does anyone know if any other recruits are coming to visit with Anderson, Aiden Hall? Jerry, you mentioned this earlier. Hayward Howard is his teammate that's already committed to Texas out of Edna Carr. Anybody else? Aiden Hall, another player on that Edna Carr team, I think.
Aiden Hall is not. I think there was a report earlier in the week that he was visiting. That is not true. He is not visiting. It's only Hayward Howard and Richard Anderson from Edna Carr tomorrow. To our knowledge, Aiden Hall is not visiting.
This is a good question for everybody. Buddy Powell, Chief Big Guy. Is Talon Green done after this year? Is he a senior or a quotation mark senior? Because I think Miami or Texas Tech would pay him a king's ransom. Boy, you remember last year when somebody said that Quinn Ewers could get $4 million in the transfer portal? He ends up going in the 7th round. Think about the transfer portal dollar value for those quarterbacks. Jerry and I, I think this morning, we're talking about Lenoris Sellers.
Miami hopes goes in the portal.
Yeah.
Lenoris Sellers.
I think he's done.
He is a fifth.
He's done.
Yeah. But my point is, the NC State quarterback, There's comments right now that Sam Leavitt, the Arizona State quarterback, is likely. What is that gonna look like? I mean, the North Texas kid, is he really gonna stay at North Texas?
With Eric Morse to whatever job he gets.
That's true. Eric, I can't wait to see
job
Eric
is
Morris
that?
go.
Probably
Is that
Baylor. Baylor.
Oh, that's a good hire.
They came out today and said they're retaining Aranda. I
Baylor
saw an
did
alert earlier. Yeah, they came out and said that they're retaining him. But you're still making the right point, right? Like wherever he goes, that's probably a package deal, just like Mateer. So
Track record quarterbacks, Eric Morris.
But you better be careful because Carson Beck paid. All right, Miami paid what, $4 million for Carson Beck? It's a lot of interceptions for $4 million, and a lot of blaming of staff and players at post game for $4 million.
That's fair.
They could have had Fernando Mendoza, who went to high school down the street from University of Miami. They took Carson Beck, and that was a massive mistake.
Off of his worst year. He
Yes.
took him off of his worst and an injury.
Yes,
Still got that money. That's
better
wow.
pick the right guy.
You're right.
Todd Lacey, I'm the one who is confident in Texas's ability at home. They have played well at DKR. It's up to the crowd to make things uncomfortable for the visitors. Hey, Todd, look, I don't know how else to say this. I'm going to let these two say it because they've been in DKR when it's rocking and when it's not. How much more difficult for it is an opposing offense when the crowd is loud, tension is heightened? How much effect can a crowd actually have on a college football game? That's a great question for you two. You've been there. But
yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, we used to egg the crowd on, right? You make a play, you're cheering them on, especially coming third downs. It makes it a little harder to hear. It makes it harder for those guys to concentrate. So I mean, it's enormous. I don't know, Bobby. Maybe y'all could even tell us, but like the timing of the game is interesting this year because it's heading into the weekend of the week of Thanksgiving. So I hope that the student section is there. I hope a number of people are available, to be there and not having plans. But I mean, having a raucous crowd is something you would always rather have than not, for sure.
Defense, it's all about creating chaos. All right, offense is about precision and execution. Defense wants to create chaos, period. And it helps to have the crowd, right, and that loud ruckus energy from the crowd on your side. I think it helps pass defense more than it helps run defense. Now, checking at the line of scrimmage, pre-snap, that's all big. He's right about the communication. You can make their life hell before the snap. Force them to get into silent counts, force them to go to the wristband, that kind of communication. But I think it definitely helps a pass defense more, in my opinion, just because it really is difficult to communicate. It's crazy how you can be right next to somebody on that field and not be able to hear them. You just see that mouth move.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't hear nothing you're saying, but you're right next to them. But that's how loud it can get in that stadium, no doubt.
Here's the question. The game is sold out, technically. Did last week take something out of – will there be a few empty seats more than if Texas after last week? That's what I'm kind of looking for with this game. If people are coming to A&M next week, are some people maybe not show up for Arkansas? That's what I'm interested in, to see what that crowd looks like tomorrow. Not like it's going to be 30,000 empty seats. Not that I'm saying that, but how fired up is the crowd tomorrow after the Georgia game, especially 7 days out from A&M right
That's a great point. It's a great point.
all right, I hope they're there, and I get the feeling. I will say this, so I need to mention this real quick. Tailgate tomorrow, guys. We will be at the tailgate for the game at Tech, and we're also going to have a special edition of Texas Tailgate. We're going to be at Kirby Lane tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and then we're going to go over to our regular tailgate spot with the guys at Surly Horns. Please visit us at either spot tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. It's a fun time. I saw some questions here in the chat asking about what to do during the game. If you're just now joining us and haven't been to a Texas game before, Bevo Boulevard is there. You've got all the tailgating you could possibly want. Please come visit us and hang out and enjoy yourselves as much as possible. All right, the next question is this from Jeff Carey. That's a lot of football brain power on display between you four. I don't know.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
I don't. Rod thinks he's got brain power. That's why I'm trying to make a snarky comment.
Football brain power, the rest of it,
Yeah,
it doesn't apply to. It's not applicable to any other facet of life.
Like, all right, bring out your your notebook again. So I want to ask you this. Legitimately, this is like an old college notebook, is it not, Marcus? Yeah. Okay. Old Spiral. Is that what your philosophy notebook looked like? Did you take that many notes in philosophy?
I did not. When I came back to school, yes. When I came back to school, and I was damn near 30 years old. I just started taking notes like this, but not in my first go round. You know, if I did, I probably would have graduated first time around. So there you go.
That's what I want to know. Yeah. Now kids don't. Now kids
They
just
don't
on
take-
their phone. Yeah.
So all these are discounted. I get these for like 99 cents, 50 cents.
By the way,
The
he already-
paper industry's
he
going
already
out of.
started his A&M notes. His first note. Mike Elko needs to fast.
And I'm not taking a shot at Elko. No, Aggie fans are looking for anything. Don't do it. No. I respect Elko, people. I respect him.
That's a great scouting report,
I think he's
Ron.
doing a damn good job over there with the Aggies, all right? He's looking for bulletin board material. I won't give it to him. I won't give it to him. Don't give it to him, man.
If he needs to fast, he should try Garage Beer. Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories and only 3 grams of carbs and only 4% ABV. It is beer flavored beer. This is beer the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. That's Garage Beer, no gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. Again, it is beer flavored beer. We appreciate them sponsoring every Friday afternoon live stream here with us as well. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Marcus Myers, Rod Babers, and Jerry Hamilton. If you've just now joined us or joined a little bit later, going on to the next question here before the game against Arkansas. Pablo says, can you guys discuss the linebacker depth for tomorrow? Is Bo Barnes, the true freshman out of Dallas Skyline, going to be the third guy off the bench, or will we move a cornerback safety to play some sort of hybrid role? Maybe, hint, hint, Jonah Williams. What are your thoughts, Jerry? Where do you think they go?
Yeah, I mean, there was a plan to start playing Jonah Williams a little more last week, right?
They did. They played him that
They played him
NASCAR
in
quarters
NASCAR.
package.
Yeah. And so I think we will continue to see more of him. This week makes some sense there, Rod, to me. I don't know about A&M. A&M's going to try to power run the football, right? That's what they're going to try to do. And Austin try to take control of that game and throw it off of it. But I think we could see a little more Jonah Williams. I think he got so far behind due to baseball not being there in the spring, then the hamstring injury holding him out for weeks, that he's really where he should have been week 5 if he had been healthy. Now we're going to game 11. So I do think we could see more Jonah Williams.
And if you like your safeties, and with Michael Taft being back healthy, maybe you can see the big nickel in this game too, considering how balanced that offense is for Arkansas. Because if they can run and stay ahead of the chains, they will. I mean, they'll stay ahead of the chains all day, every day with Mike Washington. So you do want to make sure on those early downs that you're able to – the key is getting Taylor Green in a predictable passing situation. That's so tough to do with their running game. If Texas can do that, they're already, to me, that's half the battle.
Guys, I want to introduce y'all to somebody. This is Kate Munger. She's with the University Co-op. Kate is the reason that we're able to be here, along with her and the rest of the co-op staff. Thank you so much for having us, and appreciate you very much. And thanks for all you do for the university, the students, etc. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you guys for being here. It's always so much fun to have you. You bring such fun and energy and excitement to those Fridays before game days. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thanks, Kate. We appreciate it.
The co-op was never this cool. Oh, it's cool now to hang out at the co-op. I tell you.
I love to hear that. Thank you. Okay.
Take care. See you, Kate. All right, we got a couple more questions here to get to. This one from Cisco Diaz. Sark needs to establish the run and stick to it. Amen.
Everybody's running the ball.
Pass the plate and
But aren't they the worst rushing team in the SEC? And like in SEC
Just
play?
by a hair.
You know, I mean, at this point in the season, my thing was, why are we still trying to be something we're not?
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not a running team. Why are you still trying to force it? This is game 11. Game 6, I get it.
Yeah.
Game 11, you're still like, yeah, we're going to try to run the ball. I was like, you don't run the ball well. You go through 10 games of it.
But time out.
I'm not saying
You were-
give up on it. I'm saying make it secondary to the passing game, which
Well-
is what you're really good at.
Well, they did that against Georgia, and everybody's saying, why didn't we run the ball more?
Well, they did lead with the pass, though. They opened up the pass, and then the run was secondary.
Okay, so you're talking
Y'all
about.
talking about that open and drive pretty much. What y'all talking about mostly with the run game.
I just no. I'm just saying that you're saying give up on the run
I'm
game.
not saying give up. I'm saying you should lead with the pass. The passing game is what people fear about you. Nobody fears your running game. Nobody fears your run game.
do. I fear it.
Well, yeah, yeah, because you know it can't.
Backwards.
Yeah. You fear it won't work. Yeah, but people fear your passing game. They're like, man, now we gotta stop Arch. Even Kirby said it's like, nah, I can't let Arch scramble. No scramble drill for Arch. That ain't happening. They defended the pass. They blitzed them 19. They came after them because they realized the passing game is what will beat you for Texas. Texas running game is not going to beat you. It beats Oklahoma. That's the only game. I don't know how Brent Venables can't stop the outside zone, but that's a him problem.
I think what Bobby's getting at is, and I get what you're saying too, Rod. I think what Bobby's getting at is you don't necessarily want to abandon it, but since at this point we've not shown any penchant to even remotely stick with it, like Rod said, run it right situationally. But what we want to happen at this point is just not going to be a reality. I want them to run the ball more. I want them to stick with it. At this point, I'd be a fool to believe they're going to, right? So it's more, can you run it situationally? Can you take advantage of maybe making some explosive plays if they're there here and there in the run game? But more times than not, I mean, you are what you are at this point in the season, and they're not going to change their stripes.
I agree. I get what y'all are saying.
I want to run it too. I'm not against the run, guys. I'm not. I'm at game 11 here. I'm like, well, the notes, you know what it says here? It says they can't run the ball. There's a bunch of notes that say the same thing.
There's 7 pages on just that.
Is it just the end of the week, or are we slap happy because we're ready for a football game?
We're tired. That's tired of Georgia talk. I can't. I gotta get that taste out of my mouth.
My Georgia concussion wore off at like 9 this morning. I'm out of protocol. I'm ready to roll.
He's out of protocol.
That's great.
Jerry Hamilton.
He's on today.
He is on. He's ready.
He's on today.
First down run, Buddy Powell, big chief guy. First down run for 7, then a false start makes it 2nd and 8. Then a drop makes it 3rd and 8. That's how you kill a running game.
I don't disagree with that. Then the holding call. I'm saying, like, all of that included. And, you know, Sark doesn't trust the running game either. That's part of why he gave up on it, too. You know, so
I want to say this. You know what he just described, by the way? This first down run for 7, then a false start makes it 2nd and 8. Remember the overtime against Mississippi State? After Arch goes down and made a first down, right?
Yeah.
Very first run, Trey Weiser up the middle for 7 yards.
Yeah.
Right? False start. Release the Babers files. That's good. But my point is, he just described something that absolutely has happened. And by the way, it happened in a very key, critical moment.
You were bailed out by an amazing play. Right?
Yes, that's my point. Yeah. And you can't live and die. You can't live or die by getting bailed out. Right? You know, anyways. With Anthony Hill Jr. potentially being out, do you think it will be harder to spy Taylor Green as a dual threat quarterback?
Great point. One less spot. You got a lot of guys that can spy.
Ty Smith's a guy.
They got a lot of guys, but there's one less though. One less spot.
Yeah.
All right. This one from Rocky Poor. This will be a last one for us today, guys. I want to see the youth movement on defense and let them shine. Lance Jackson, Cade Phillips, Grayson Littleton, Jonah Williams, Xavier Filsaime, Kobe Black. They need to show up and show they are growing up. They're not freshmen anymore.
Big game for the Jackson family.
Oh yeah,
Lance Jackson. That's right.
Brother. Yeah.
Probably some
Little smack talking.
Some minor betting, not on the game, just family members on this one.
They'll throw fastballs at each other.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, y'all know Lance Jackson throws through a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I was like, I mean, he's a world-class athlete.
He really is.
He really is.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go like little BB coming at me at 95 miles an hour.
I'm asking a recruiting question. I actually should know the answer. Do we have any kids on this team that were once committed to Arkansas?
Brad Spence is the champ. Was he committed?
He played.
But like as a high school recruit, I don't think so. I was just thinking about that. Somebody in the chat may tell me I'm an idiot, which I often happens, but
But it's because it's true.
it's true.
Yeah.
100% true.
This should be a
Oh,
game.
there's no arguing that.
Randomly though, no, I like that though because I was looking at the guys that played well for Georgia. Sorry to bring up Georgia again.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of freshmen that actually made plays against Texas. And I was listening to one of the podcasts. They were like, yeah, these guys aren't freshmen anymore though because they played so much. Like that Elijah Griffin kid, the Zayden Walker kid. Like they had a lot of guys who were freshmen that had their best games against Texas. Yeah. And that's what I think, Rocky Ford wants to see. Like, hey, let's see some of these freshmen show out. I would say Justice Terry actually had a nice
Really
game
good.
versus Jordan. He looked good, man. He looked good. Few snaps, but
First time we really
play him.
made a couple plays.
Georgia fans were mocking us saying they don't even know how to play some of their best freshmen yet because he hadn't played all season. And yet against Georgia, he's out there making plays.
Mm-hmm.
All right, parting shots. We had our predictions earlier. Marcus, I'll start with you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I think we've covered it, in a number of different ways. It's just a matter of, which team shows up tomorrow. And my hope is that the team that's taking some of this stuff personally, the team that has that bad taste in their mouth from the game in Athens, wants to get out there, prove that they're better than what they've shown in that particular game. And that's what I'm hoping. I know a number of those cats, and it means something to them, right? Like, I know Kirby made that comment. I don't think it was a full-on shot just at Texas. He was maybe directed a specific one Justice Terry and maybe a couple of guys, in high school that have made some choices that are playing ball there in Georgia. But I know this game means a lot to these guys. It's on them to go out there and prove it.
Rod B.
I'm hoping that Brad Spence is talking to all the guys so they understand how much this means to Arkansas. I know the guys should understand that now because they played Arkansas last year. And, Sark in his first year got a little taste of it going down there. But man, this is everything to Arkansas. So I got a feeling they're gonna come out guns a-blazing, especially with Bobby Petrino. So I just want Texas to kind of match the fire, match the fight. If Texas does that, they'll beat them. It could end up being ugly, and it could end up being a shootout, unfortunately for a lot of Longhorn fans. But I think if the Longhorns do that, they'll be fine against this team. Arkansas is their own worst enemy. If you go look at what they have, I think it's 6 one-score losses. 6 one-score losses.
5 of them in conference.
Yeah, 6 one-score loss. I believe that they've lost the turnover margin 10-3, I believe, in those 6 losses. So that's you got to take the football away, and you got to take care of the football, which Texas does really well. I think if you do that, and you're not your own worst enemy, you beat Arkansas. But it's going to be a fight like that. It's going to be a fight. I guarantee you. Arkansas, they brought it to everybody. Everybody who played this year, except for Notre Dame, pretty much.
Yeah,
they brought a fight.
Channel everything you love about the game of football and why you got into the game of football. You got your butt kicked and embarrassed last week. Kirby told you got your butt kicked. Think back to why you started playing the game and bring it Saturday. It's pretty simple. Whatever movie you need to watch, whatever Boys of Fall video, it doesn't matter. Go bring everything you have left out.
Yep.
That can't be next week. It's got to start this week. Because next week, while it'll be a game, a rivalry game, it won't matter if you lose this one.
Amen, brother.
Just real quick, I just wanted to thank everybody for the kind words, thoughts, and prayers. Had a successful procedure yesterday. Y'all can see I'm back moving around and on the mend. So I got to duck out of here a little early, but appreciate y'all. Hook them.
All right, take care, Marcus. Marcus, by the way, he showed that he could reach into his pocket for his credit card today. I saw he had no problem doing that earlier. Hey, all right, before we let folks go, see you, Marcus. Before we let everybody go, we got the Saturday conversation coming early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We'll have that. Myself, Jerry, and Rod Babers will be talking about not only the Longhorns, but the other games that are on tap for the weekend. Then we have the Texas Tailgate. That actually is going to be moved up to 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to be over at Kirby Lane. So join us then. Jeff Howe, myself, will be on that. It will be. Wait, time out. I went by there today to see what their pancake special was for tomorrow.
What is it?
Pecan pie pancake.
Oh.
Tell me we won't be having some of those. All right. Yeah. Mike Elko has a few of those too.
I'm
Why?
I'm not involved in this. I'm not involved in this. I am not. Y'all both gonna be on bulletin board material for the Aggies. Both of y'all.
I'll be on TexX finally after all these years. No way.
Watch with us at 2:30. That's brought to you by our friends over at Vaughn Lane. And then the post-game live immediately following the game, Rod, yourself, me, and I think Brian Rose is going to join us tomorrow as well for that one. All right, thanks to all of our sponsors today. The Garage Beer. This will be our last time here in Austin before a game, because next weekend's game is on a Friday, and we got some pregame festivities we got to attend to. But I want to say this, guys, it's been a great year. Appreciate this so far. We've still got 2 more games to go here. Hopefully, we see the Longhorns come out tomorrow, play strong, play together, play for one another, be a little irked about getting called out in their manhood. Their coaches that way, along with the other coaching staff. I'm really one big thing, and this is my fondest wish, is no coverage busts.
Yes.
Look, I might be able to handle 1 a game. I can't handle 4.
We haven't busted any here at OTF this week. Just tell them to copy us.
All right, that's gonna do it. That's good.
Not to bust the coverage. It's not hard. That's an easy not to bust the coverage. Getting beat, guys get beat. You cannot bust the coverage. Come on, guys.
I would like to say I agree with you, but they didn't make it look easy last week. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of On Texas Football. Guys, y'all are terrific. The fans, thank you for all your super chats and questions. We'll be back a little bit tomorrow. Talk again here at On Texas Football. For Rod Babers, Jerry Hamilton, Marcus Myers, as well as our producer, Matt Hutchinson, the real star behind the scenes. I'm Bobby Burton. You guys have a good week. Hook 'em horns.